Hey there, guys, and thanks for watching the ninth episode of Will Stanley Reviews. I'm excited to be here as always, and today I have a book about habits. Yesterday I referenced the point in this book where it said 40% of our daily activities are actually habitual, and I'm going to actually come back to that in a second, but here's the front of the book. Author Charles Duhigg, if I said that right, but let's get into it. So, it starts off with a story about Lisa, a woman named Lisa, and she was studied because she overcame tremendous obstacles in life. She was extremely overweight, was in a deep depression after a divorce. Her husband left her for another woman, and she was a big smoker, all this stuff. But after a couple of years, it came back. All of a sudden, she was running marathons. She was she also before was deeply in debt. Now she was out of debt and making more money than ever, just the best shape of her life, new relationship, completely turned over. And the scientists were like, what just happened here? And I'm going to shorten the story here. What they discovered is Lisa had changed what they call a keystone habit. Now, what that was for her was smoking. So one day, she was actually in a different country, somewhere in the Middle East, and she decided, you know what? I'm not going to smoke. Instead, I'm going to start running. So now she went from smoking to running, and that became a habit for her. Every day she would go running, and it would take away the need to go to smoke. Well, that change of that main habit of smoking turned into her changing her other habits that weren't as dominant. That's why they call it a keystone habit. Keystone habits are your main habits that you do. So when she changed this keystone habit, it was a snowball effect into changing her other habits for the better. And in this scenario, it can also be the reverse. But she went forward instead of going backwards with it, and ended up saving more money and having a positive attitude, which ended up in her becoming debt free. And then she was more confident in herself, so she stopped overeating. She stopped having need for food because of the things she was doing, and she stopped craving it as much when she saw it. So that's how she lost weight, and then she became more confident and had a better time communicating with other people. She found a happy relationship with another man after being in complete turmoil after her divorce. So it just shows you that, and this was studied by prestigious scientists. It's all accredited in the book, but I'm just giving you the short story of it because after all, the point of this is that you didn't read the book, and I'm telling you all the important stuff in it. Now, to kind of segue off of that, like I said before, 40% of what we do is habitual. We don't even think about it. Like when we go from drive your car maybe to school or to work, and then you get there and you realize, I don't even remember driving. That's because you've done it so many times that your brain pretty much goes on autopilot. They found through studies that it lowers so much brain activity because it doesn't need to, since you've repeated the action so much, that you literally go on almost an autopilot. And that's why you can forget driving to work or just doing brushing your teeth in the morning and simple stuff like that. So what's very interesting in Lisa's story is knowing this, we can do so many things to program habits into ourselves that we want for the positive. Let's say you have the same problem as her, you're overweight. If you can program in your head that alarm clock going off means you get dressed, and when you get dressed in the morning, that means you go to the gym, it becomes a routine. Now I'm going to get into the steps of the routine as told to us in the book. It's 3 steps. It goes cue, which would be the alarm going off. Maybe you make it a specific sound, like you have your wake up alarm to get dressed. Then you have a second alarm that goes off, and that's your workout alarm, like you better be in the car to go work out, or you do it at your house, whatever. And then you have rewards. Then your reward is you feel good after the gym and you're energized for the day. Now, if you do this enough times, it eventually becomes a habit. And then once you have a habit, it becomes there permanently. Now, as like I said before, you can use habits to counteract other ones to overcome them, like how Lisa overcame smoking by getting in the habit of running and exercising. But habits never truly go away. That's why you have addicts that relapse. So you have to be careful. If your habit is to sit on the couch instead of going out every couple nights or just working out every day, it's tough to skip a day here and there, because if you start skipping a day, then you're going to get back into that routine a lot easier than you did get into the routine of working out. I didn't lose you there, but I'm going to keep going on to the next point. Now, I've always found the value in looking into the value of what other people think is important. Like you might think someone's important because they have a lot of money, or they're really smart, they have a huge IQ. But something to really cherish is what someone really finds valuable. And since this is more of a business oriented review blog, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to bring it back to the story in the book about it was a huge aluminum company in America, publicly traded, and they got a new CEO. And this CEO really valued habits. And in a company or an organization, it's a routine. He focused on safety. And when he gave his intro speech when he first got hired, people flipped out because all he was talking about was safety. Like, how can he focus on routines and not profits? Well, guess what? If you focus on that one thing, like how Lisa's story, it's going to transform into other things, and in this case, profits. This guy focused on managing the routines and habits of safety in the organization. After all, they're dealing with metals up to 1,500 degrees. And the result of just focusing on that one habit made the company 5x its profits over 5 years. Which means as a result of this, if someone invested $1 million that day that he got the job and made that announcement and speech to all the investors, they would have gotten $1 million in dividends along the course of those 5 years, and their stock would then be worth, on the five-year mark, $5 million. So they netted $5 million cash, before like capital gains tax and whatnot. But basically, $5 million cash just because this guy, the jockey of the organization. Remember, it's very important to think about who's driving the car, not just which car's fastest in a race. He focused on this one, which seemed minute routine or habit, but it was actually a keystone. It was a keystone part of the organization, as I would say, to come back to keystone habits. Now, I really think that's a valuable thing to know. I didn't talk about everything, not even close to what's in this book, so again, look out for part 2. I'll pretty much be doing a part 2 to every review I do, because I'm trying to keep these videos short, since you're probably at work right now, not working and just watching this video because you're bored. So I'm going to keep it short so you guys don't get in trouble. And I don't really care if you subscribe or whatever, as long as you guys are enjoying the videos and actually learning something from it. That's all I care about. But if you want to take the time and do it, subscribe, comment, like, let me know how I'm doing. If you want to see something different, if you want to see a book get reviewed, whatever, just let me know. And also, if you have an idea or something you want to do, or you want to change something, go do that instead of watching these videos. Like, if you actually have an idea or want to change something about yourself, go out and do it and start forming the habit of actually acting on what you want to do, instead of watching videos like me or go listening to some motivational speaker. Like, just go and do something about it. Alright, that was my rant for the day. I'm out, guys. Thank you for so much.